During that season, I thought I was the only one. I thought nobody knows what this feels like. And I look back now and exactly what you said, that the enemy is going to try, he's coming after everybody, but those that are followers of Jesus, those who have a calling on their lives to spread the gospel and the light, he's going to come after us even harder. Here's what I've discovered about the tactics of the enemy is that he's been using the same tricks from the very beginning. He knows the word of God, and so that's the first thing we have to know is that he will take the word of God and he'll twist it just enough. He'll put just a little bit of truth in there to make you start to cling to it, but then he'll just turn it a little bit. And so
give me an example of that.
So the biggest one for me, when I was in that dark season and I was shutting out everybody, the one thing that I turned to was my old vice, which was food. I had been on a weight loss journey ever since Simon made fun of me on national television, to be honest. My second album was called Freedom. My third album, there's a song called Stronger. And I remember the day that that song came out, I stepped on a scale and I had lost 100 pounds exactly. Since then, I had lost over 120 pounds. But when Keisha died and I began shutting out the world and shutting out Jesus, I started to turn back to food. And so I gained every 120 of those pounds back. And then in that 3-year period where I was in the dark, I gained 75 more on top of that. So almost 200 pounds I gained in 3 years. And so when I started listening to, here's the lie that the enemy told me, Mandisa, Jesus does not want you to be in this kind of pain. You are a child of God, and there's no way that this is the abundant life that he wants you to live. So if you were to take your life right now, you could be in heaven with him. You see, there's a little bit of truth there. He doesn't want me to live in that misery and in that darkness. And it's true that when I do leave this world, that I am going to be in heaven with him, but he is going to be the one that's going to choose when that's going to happen. It's not going to be at my own hand.
That's right.
So that is... It's what he did to Adam and Eve. It's what he did to Eve. You know, did God really say? It's what he did to Jesus.
That's right.
Did God really say, if you were to throw yourself off of this building, you know, the angels are going to lift you up? Like, it's the same tactic that he has used throughout all of time, and it almost worked for me.
Yeah, and I feel so. This is such a good point that the first part you said is true, but then there's that ergo. Therefore, then you take your own life, and that horrible. And maybe you're watching tonight and you're hearing that same voice. We just want you to know, man, don't give up on this life. God has a calling and a purpose for you. Look at what God has done in Mandisa's life and in so many others. We just want you to know, if you're hearing that voice, you know, take your life, go to heaven now, reject that, because you don't want to miss out on the great purpose that you have in your life.
That's right.
You're never going to, I've talked to so many people who were in a place you were, and none of them, you know, they all say, I wouldn't have realized later how good my life would have been. And everybody says, when I look back, you know, I'm so glad I didn't do that. Everybody says that, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting to me how during that season, I thought I was the only one. I thought nobody knows what this feels like. And I look back now and it's exactly what you said, that the enemy is going to try, he's coming after everybody, but those that are followers of Jesus, those who have a calling on their lives to spread the gospel and the light, he's going to come after us even harder. And so we cannot expect for Christians to not go through this. We can't expect for Christians not to commit suicide. It's because the enemy is coming full force after us because he's scared of us, and he should be.
Such a good
and so
word.
that is what we have to remember, that if you're hearing that voice, it means the enemy's trying to take you out. And so the fact that he's doing that means that he's terrified of you, and he should be, because you've got resurrection power living inside you.
That's right. It's a good word. You know, that is so right. And it's so important for Christians to hear that Christians go through depression. Christians struggle with thoughts of suicide. Christians struggle with addiction. These are things that the enemy puts in our life to delay our purpose and our destiny. And in fact, I often think that we shouldn't pray for an easy life. We should pray for a stronger heart and a stronger mind, to be tougher,